So I'm gonna start the video here because I managed to fix the heater hoses kind of off camera. These were completely bent over. And what I did was took a 10 mil socket, put it inside the actual copper line and hammered it until it was round again. And then put the lines back on and it's not leaking anymore. I thought the line was actually cracked with how much it was leaking, but it was just sealing really bad. So doing that fixed it. And I'm just now topping up the fluid. I drove it to work today and back and it didn't lose anything, so that should be 100% in the cooling system now. But we've been driving it all week now and there hasn't really been any issues. I had a noise out of the back and it ended up being a piece of the brake pad broke away. Just a matter of ripping it out and keep on driving. So I have a different set of rims on the 8.6 that I want to try to put on this. There's 7 in the front, 8 in the back. Should look pretty good on this car. It'll be a lot better than these Honda Civic Steelies that are way oversized for the car and pretty much jack it up to stock height. Feels weird ripping parts off of this 8.6. I know I haven't worked on it in so long, but being in this shed and not having a welder kind of prevents me from like finishing the floor and a couple other things. I want to get the doors on it soon, so anybody that's new or this is one of your first videos, there will be more 8.6 stuff. And I highly suggest like anybody who hasn't seen it to go back and watch the whole build on this car. It was right down to sandblasted. It was on essentially I wouldn't call it a rotisserie, but a frame that I made for it. And it's come a long way and it sucks seeing it sit here, but someday soon, hopefully something will happen with it again. But for right now, I'm going to rip the tires off of it and basically use it as a parts car, I guess. These greasy 17-inch rims are less than ideal. They hit the struts and everything, so I just put the rear end down on them because the rims are such garbage that nobody's ever gonna want them. I got them for free for tires, for burners, so the rims are scrap, but they were 4x114, so they fit the bolt pattern, but the offset's all fucky on them. I don't care what anybody believes. Do not put 17-inch chromes on your JDM Classic. That is the ugliest and most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And I feel horrible for doing it. But because we have to, I'm just gonna pretend that never happened. These rims fit the car perfectly, I think. They're a little tall on the back, but I don't know if that's just because of the way the ground is right now and how the car's sitting. But having the wide in the back, the fronts can come out a little. I almost want to put a tiny spacer on the fronts just to push them out, just so they're like flush with these ones. I think it would look perfect. I don't mind so much that they're not all deep dish like that, but if I could find 2 more that were deep dish like that, I'd run it squared. But these rims I've had for I think 7 years, and they've done nothing but roll on cars. That's why there's overspray all over a bunch of them. Like this one, I think, yeah, this one has purple on it. And then pretty sure there's one that has red on it from when I painted the 240. I think it's this one. But yeah, it's got purple, red, everything on it. Because it was on every single one of the cars rolling around at one point. Tires are pretty crap. Those are pretty much at the wear bar. Those are pretty good on the front, but they're starting to crack a little bit. I'm gonna double check tire pressure right now, and this should be good enough to run them. At least I'll know what I want, and they're running the same tire size, so it's stretched at the back. So I don't know if I would, I think I might run close to that size, and then maybe a different size in the front, but then push the front out a bit. I think that would look cool, having it slightly stretched like that, but slightly stretched at the front, but pushed out with a 1/4 inch wheel spacer, maybe an inch at the most. Inch would make the most sense because that's 7 and that's 8 wide, so an inch should level it all out. I'm gonna try to do this super quick and super wrong. All I've got is at least a 2-year-old roll of tape that's kind of been laying in the shed forever, pizza box that I just got, and a $20 eBay or a $20 Amazon sander. I do have the bash bar, and yes, I did forget to get it from work, so it's still sitting at work, but I'll switch it out later. But just a couple zip ties to take the bumper back off. But I really should have put the bash bar on now, but like I said, totally forgot. Took the bumper off and went, oh crap, never brought the bash bar back home. So don't mind that. We'll paint it, do it later. This fender is absolutely horrible. I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's like, yeah, it's just full of filler everywhere. The only way to make it smooth at all is to take like literally so much off. It's actually changed the door line here, so I've accepted that there's going to be dents in it, basically from the level difference. But it's actually changing the door gap. That's how much body filler's in every inch of this fender. Like somebody must have skimmed it multiple times, front to back, and just kept sanding it. I literally dropped probably like 1/8 of an inch just taking it off on this top piece here. And right now it's actually lower than the door. So much for lining up this fender at all before doing this. But yeah, I can't believe that there's that much in it and they like didn't even put that much effort into sanding it down. At least sand it down enough that you kind of can feel what the body line used to be. There's no filler in the low spot, of course, but there is from like the edge all the way up and the edge all the way down. And down here seems to be multiple panels bonded together and then fiberglass and body filled down here. So we ain't even gonna get into that, but it's all scuffed. I can rattle can it red now if I want. I might scuff in here and do the top of the fender just for the sake of doing it. Might actually loosen the bolts off a bit and shove something under there just to protect the engine bay. Yeah, and then the bumper, I assume the bumper's gonna be no better. Not ideal. Don't do as I do. Just don't do anything I do, basically. I don't know where I was going with that. Just don't do this. It's not a good idea. Just don't do it like this, please. Moved over here to the desk just so I could have it set up a little bit better. There is so much body filler in this bumper as well that I don't know how it hasn't cracked. And it's probably gonna crack when I put it back on. But I don't want to paint on the car because of all the overspray, and I just don't want to screw around with the engine bay and all that stuff. So it's already off the car. I'm gonna paint it right here. It's not perfect. There is a lot of pitting. Like they barely must have even sanded it last time it got painted. But I'm not gonna knock it all down. There's like so many layers of colors and Bondo, and just gonna make it decent, make it at least equivalent to what it was, but only red. And honestly, I probably won't keep this bumper either. If I could find just a normal one coat of paint bumper to scuff and paint, I'd much rather that. Because the other thing is, this does weigh more than the old red bumper that was all wrecked. And I knew that there was body filler in there. But again, I think they skimmed every inch of it and just sanded it and then just sprayed the whole car. And then the fender I put on was actually Bondoed right into the side skirt with no body line. So whoever did this, I hope it wasn't a shop, but whoever the hell did this did a real bang up job at it. But either way, I'm gonna get it red. So there is an obvious color difference there. It looks really bad on camera, but it's not as bad in person as on camera. The issue I have is this fender took a whole can of paint. It went on a lot thinner than I thought it would, so there was a couple coats to actually make it not blotchy. Like, it went on nice and smooth, obviously, no runs in it. But this bumper, they took a whole can of paint. I got 2 cans of paint and did one on the fender and then one on the bumper, and then ran into the issue where it was still blotchy. So I went and grabbed a 3rd can of paint. As soon as I sprayed the 3rd can of paint on it, it orange peeled all to hell. It did not take to the paint that was underneath for whatever reason. So I sprayed it on heavy to try to prevent it, to kind of let it smooth out on like I think it was probably like the 4th coat. And then I got a run in it. And as I said, there is a stress crack that formed when I put it on. But yeah, it's all red now. And honestly, like, it doesn't look too bad. It looks better than green. That's what I keep saying to myself. It's still better than green was. So yeah, Miata's red and white. I can live with the white. I'll spray that eventually. I still got to adjust this headlight a little bit better. But either way, she's looks like more of a livable, normal car now.